Hi guys, it's Becca here, and I'm from Writing Research and Technology, and I'm here to talk about RIP, the Remix Manifesto. And I want to say that I completely agree with everything this guy is saying, and that copyright laws are too strict, and that they should be a lot more lenient for remixers, not, people who are plagiarizing, but people who are remixing and making something similar but different from, the original idea. And I think it should be more lenient for those people. And he makes 4 major points in his movie, one of which, the first one, is culture builds on the past. And I couldn't believe that this was any more true. Everything comes from somewhere. Every idea, every thought, every invention comes from some idea that somebody else thought of or said or did. And, if we come too close to that, then all of a sudden sound the alarms, there's going to be this lawsuit. And I think that that's ridiculous. And, we should be able to be free with our ideas. And, like I said, not plagiarizing, but being able to use someone else's idea and build upon it, I don't think should be wrong. And, on top of that, in the video, they went to the copyright office and talked to this woman who said that Girl Talk's remixing could or could not be a violation of copyright law because it, quote, depends on who owns the copyright and how upset they're going to be. And I think that that's absolutely ridiculous. If it's law, it should be law. It should not be this big gray area, because then there's going to be those people who are too afraid to create because they're so afraid that they're going to violate some obscure copyright law, and then there's going to be those people who create underground because they don't care about the copyright laws. They're too ambiguous to understand. And the fact that we leave it at the whim of whoever owns the copyright is completely ridiculous. It's too ambiguous, and it's just wrong. And his second point is that the past controls the future. And again, that is very true, and that old ideas and old traditions are always going to influence the future. They're always going to try to keep the future from being something different and new, because change is always resisted. But when the past is keeping us from creating and keeping us from advancing, that's when it becomes wrong. That's when it becomes a big problem and something that we need to fix. Because, look how far we've come from, the 1960s. And, so much of that change has been resisted and fought against. But when we finally did make those changes, so much good has come out of it. And when we finally did those advances in ideas and medicine and creativity, so much came out of that. And, I think we need to take a lesson from the past. And, the past is trying to control the future, but we need to take a lesson from the past in that so much creativity and so much good has come from where we once were to where we are now. Just think about how great things could be 40 years from now. And, the fact that the future is controlling, or the past is controlling our future, brings us to his third point, which is the future is becoming less free. And, if we can't build upon a medical idea or something, an idea that could potentially be great, that somebody sits on for their lifetime and 70 years after that they can't do anything with, that somebody else who now could use that and build upon it and create a cure for cancer or a cure for AIDS, or, build some super machine that does something special, I don't know. But because we have to wait that long extended amount of time, this creativity is being stifled and stopped, and that's just I mean, the things that we could be doing that we couldn't be doing is just unimaginable. And this, brings us to his last point, which is to build free societies, we need to limit the control of the past. And we need to limit these copyright laws. And we need to not let, two corporations control our entire culture. And have companies and corporations and, single people be able to stop us from doing amazing things. And this is just, it's too much power for one person. And it's wrong. And we need to be able to be free in that, again, not plagiarizing, but be able to build upon other ideas and be able to use ideas to create our own ideas that may be similar, but are different because they're our own. And that's all that really needs to be made that's different. Instead of calling these people pirates, we should be calling them pioneers and people who are trying to create something new and different from something that was old and used. And so that's all that I have to say.